question 10 for RPGaDAY 2016 is, what is the largest in-game surprise you have ever experienced? Now, there's been a fair few surprising things in games whilst I've been playing them. It's very difficult to pin it down to just one example. One sort of consistent trend I have noticed that I have found a little bit surprising is how some people seem to get really sort of cut up when characters die. Now, I can understand people getting attached to a character. After all, it's something you've created and it's something you've nurtured through potentially many adventures. You've been that person effectively whilst you've been role-playing them. So of course, yeah, you feel very close to that person. You've been immersed in their personality, their likes, their dislikes, etc. And I can understand people, you know, if your character gets taken out by like a goblin's arrow due to like a shitty dice roll or something like that, I can understand you being a bit gutted about that, and I would be as well. However, I always do find it surprising when people seem to get like really cut up about it, and it's not because I don't understand people getting invested in their characters, because of course I do understand that. That's part of what role-playing is all about. The reason I've always found it odd though is because when a character actually dies in a game, whether it's as a result of a climactic battle or whether it's just that lucky goblin's arrow taking them out, it's not as if they're actually really dead. You can always take aspects of that character and sort of fold them into future characters that you portray. And I'm not talking about coming back and going, oh, I'm the last character's son, I've come to inherit all his gold, or anything rubbish like that. I'm talking about if you've been playing a character who was a bit of a sort of noble swashbuckling swordsman, and you're like, well, I quite liked all the sort of politicking and the sort of noblesse oblige and stuff like that he was getting involved in. There's no reason, like maybe a character, two characters down the line, you can't take some of the aspects, not all of them, you should not just play the same character, but there's no reason you can't take some of those aspects and fold them into a new character. And also, I've always thought that the fact that a player character can die at literally almost any moment in a game is really a reason to play that character to the hilt as much as you can whilst they're there, because you never know exactly how long you're going to have playing that character. So you should really like play the arse off it whilst you've got the chance. One of the things I've always found slightly odd as well is when a character dies and they're never mentioned again in that game, or very rarely. And that very much reminds me of like a sort of syndicated TV show where one of the main actors has decided to leave and they've brought in like a replacement character, and they might get one or two mentions, maybe the odd flashback here and there, but by and large that's it. They're gone, bring in the new character, off we go. Now, that's not really how it happens in like real life. And I know role-playing games aren't real life. Anyone who knows me will know I'm not a massive sort of simulationist style GM, but if you lose someone in real life, you don't forget they exist. You don't cease to mention them ever again. So what I think is a good thing is for players is if a character does go out, whether it's yours or not, mention that fallen character every now and again, even if it's just something coincidental, like, oh, do you remember that time Mordrad spilt all of the ale everywhere in that tavern and got us into that horrendous bar brawl? It might not even be something we've actually seen on screen or that was actually role played out. It's just a throwaway reference. Chances are no one's going to jump in and say, no, Mordred didn't do that, that never happened, because we didn't see it in game. It's just a bit of added extra flavour. It brings the characters who've survived that and experienced that loss closer together, and it also means that the player who lost that character gets to see that their character's still remembered. So it's great for everybody. And yeah, if your GM's willing, maybe occasionally there will be a flashback when that person gets to dust off that character sheet and bring them out again for a flashback. So the characters aren't really gone. So I've never understood it, people getting really cut up about it. And I also think that losing a character shouldn't be seen as like a loss so much as it's an opportunity to play another really kick-ass character and to try and outdo yourself and make an even better character. So that's the largest in-game surprise I've had, which is people getting cut up about their characters when they've died. And let's face it, if you can go out with a really kick-ass, like dramatic death scene, that's an amazing closer for any sort of character. It gives you that amount of sort of closure for them. but you only get that scene if you really sort of play your character to the hilt. And that's why I think the potential of character loss is a great thing in role-playing games. So it encourages us to really play those characters while they're still around, and also it gives us something to work for. Because let's face it, if our character goes down, we don't want it to be for that stupid goblin arrow in the middle of the woods that just catches you in the chest and down you go. You want it to be fighting against the big antagonist. You want it to be standing on the prow of that pirate ship with cannonballs raining around you. You want it to be standing on that burning building, reaching out, trying to rescue one of your comrades. We want that drama, and you only get that if you play your characters in a dramatic way. So that's my answer to question 10. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow for RPGaDAY 2016, question 11. Take care.